You're with Lizzie. Now, this morning, we're talking actually about anti-slavery, modern anti-slavery legislation in New Zealand in terms of where is it? Where are we up to with all of that? And I've invited onto the show to speak to this Dr. Susan Maiava from founder of Fair and Good. Morena, good morning, Susan.
Morena, Lizzie.
Great to have you here. Now, let's just get back to basics to start with. What is modern anti-slavery legislation and what will it achieve?
Okay, so modern slavery legislation is legislation that will require businesses to look right back in their supply chains, to know their supply chains, to assess their supply chains for the risk of slavery, report on that so it's transparent. What we want is transparency. And then to mitigate those risks. So actually take proactive action to try and to actually reduce slavery in the supply chains and make that transparent and report to us so that consumers have a choice.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, we don't know. We don't know what's in our chocolate or our coffee or our phones or even the batteries of our electric cars. We New Zealanders don't have a choice, and they may have things. There's a real risk, a real possibility that there's slavery in the products that we consume every day, and that transparency is just not there. And we don't have the choice because businesses are not required to tell us, and in fact, they don't even know them. They're not even required to know themselves.
Wow. Hey, so tell us, Susan, how do we compare to the other OECD countries around this legislation?
Right. Well, countries like the UK, Canada, Australia, they already have modern slavery legislation.
Okay.
So we have access to their templates. We have access to their experience. It's not that we don't know what to do. We've got their example and it's working well, in Australia, Canada, and so on. It's a good thing. It's been good and it works. And also, there are some lessons to learn and we can learn those lessons, make our legislation better, perhaps with a greater emphasis on due diligence and requiring things of businesses to actually be proactive in getting slavery out of their supply chains. But what we're asking of the New Zealand government is to catch up with those other countries in the OECD, because quite frankly, it's a bit embarrassing, really.
Yeah, it sounds like we've dropped the ball. So where are things at? Because I remember last year signing a petition. I'm thinking some listeners probably signed it as well.
Yes.
Sort of, it seemed like something was sort of happening under the Labor government, and then nothing's happened. So where are we at?
It did seem like things were happening. A lot of work was actually done under the Labor government. They received a lot of good advice from experts. The legislation was, the writing, the drafting was sort of well underway. Things were going well. The Labor government said that they would have it made into law before the election. Now, unfortunately, it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen. The election happened. Now we've got a new government, and that's why we're asking people to sign our open letter again. I know I've had people say, well, didn't I do something last year? Didn't I sign something last year? Yes, you did, and that was great. But please
do it again.
Sign again, because we've got a brand new government, and the new government has yet to take a decision on this. Brooke Van Velden said she's yet to take a decision, and that's really what spurred me into action. Is like, okay, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
There's not much. It's not difficult. Please just do it. And we need to keep that pressure up on them.
Yeah.
To do it.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it, when a lot of work is being put in and then there's a different government and a minister looking after that area. So like you say,
yes.
Even if we've signed something again, it only takes a couple of minutes, if that, doesn't it, to sign again. So yes. I see it's on your website, actually. Support our open letter for modern slavery legislation. You can read the open letter there and then sign it. Is that the best thing for us to do, Susan?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can go to the Fair and Good website, fairandgood.co.nz, and link through there to the open letter. or you can go straight to Action Station, which is where the petition is. Go to Action Station and look for the open letter regarding modern slavery legislation. And the other thing I would just ask your viewers too is please tell everybody you know as well. Get your aunties, your uncles, your colleagues, your work colleagues. If you can help spread the message, and I'd like to set you a challenge really. Maybe if you can sign and you can get 5 other people to sign as well, that would be great.
That's a great
We'd
challenge.
really appreciate that, because we have to get this message through to the new government that New Zealanders do not want to be complicit in modern slavery.
Indeed. Right. So that website again, if you would like to sign the open letter for modern slavery legislation, even as Susan said, even if you've signed it before because it is a new government, fairandgood.co.nz is the easiest place to find it, fairandgood.co.nz. Dr. Susan Maiava, thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Lizzie.
Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to click on like, subscribe and notifications. See you next time.